All right, everyone, you're now live.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Joint Vance Monument Task Force meeting. I am Orlene Simmons, co-chair of the task force. I will be chairing this meeting this evening, along with co-chair Deborah Miles. I will call this meeting to order on the 4th day of February at 4:30 p.m. Please respond to the roll call. Co-chair Deborah Miles.
Present.
Catherine Calhoun Cutshall.
Here.
Dennis Fagin. Dennis. Savannah Gibson.
Here.
Lawrence Gillum. Know what the fate of Deborah, did you find out anything from Lonnie
He said
how he's going to be joining us?
He said he was going to call in on the phone.
All right, I'll come back. Elizabeth Harper.
Present.
Elizabeth. S.C. Hutchison. S.C. Hutchison.
Yeah.
Hello. David King.
Present.
Bernard Oliphant.
Present.
Andrea Olson.
Present.
Ben Scales.
Present.
Shirley Whitesides.
Present.
Is Lonnie able to join us yet?
Still can't get in for some reason.
Okay, so Lonnie, can you say present?
Present.
Okay, I'll
Thank you. Have I omitted? Have I omitted anyone's name? I assume that we do have a quorum for this evening. The next item on the agenda is the approval of minutes of the last meeting. Are there any corrections or additions to the minutes that have been distributed by email? Hearing none, I call for a motion to accept the minutes.
This is
Are
Catherine
we-
Shaw. I move to accept the minutes.
Motion's been made by Catherine Cutshall. Can I please get a second? Can I get Savannah Gibson second? It has been moved and second that we accept the minutes. All those in favor, please let it be known by saying aye. All those opposed, no.
Aye.
Aye.
I'll do the roll call again, but thank you for that. Co-chair Deborah Miles.
Yes.
Co-chair Deborah Miles, do you accept?
Yes.
Yeah, Dave.
Catherine Calhoun Cutshall.
Aye.
Dennis Fagin.
Thanks, Dave.
Savannah Gibson.
Aye.
Lawrence Gillum.
He's having trouble getting on. I'm getting Ashley to call him.
Okay. Elizabeth Harper.
Aye.
S.C. Hutchison.
Aye.
David King.
Aye.
Bernard Oliphant.
Aye.
Ben Scales. Shirley Whitesides.
Yes. Present. Yes.
Thank you so much. The next item on the agenda is a proposed list of the African Americans, and that is by Deborah Miles. Deborah, are you ready for that report, please?
Yes, I am.
All right, thank you.
All right. Nice to see everybody. I hope everybody got the spreadsheet list that was sent out as preparation for this meeting. This list began with the work of Delta House and especially with Ms. Shirley Whiteside's efforts. So I want to, in particular, thank her. We have worked on this list in the subcommittee with Lonnie and David, Catherine, Shirley, Ms. Simmons, and myself. And we walk into this with some trepidation because we know what happens when some folks get left off. So for right now, this is a living document. And if there are folks on the task force who would like to add to this document, we ask you to do that by Friday, February the 12th. So that's number one. Number two, the co-chairs have made a statement of what we would like to propose as part of this for consideration. This is not like not that we could do a mandatory thing at any rate, but I hope that folks got a chance to read the statement from the co-chairs about some of the centering of the, and I'd like to read it at this time. We recognize the long history of what we now call the footprint of Pack Square, including the times before human occupation and into the presence of indigenous people who are the ancestors of the contemporary Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians. We ask that included in the redesign of the be a recognition of the Cherokee presence prior to 1792. We also recognize the complex story of the African American community on that spot, including enslavement and Jim Crow segregation, along with other narratives of non-African Americans. These are not competing narratives, but are part of a whole. In light of this, we hope some measure of special recognition will be given to the Asheville Student Committee on Racial Equality, including students, mentors, and leaders, and the desegregation they set in motion in business and institutions in close proximity to the square. We are the beneficiaries of this intergenerational and cross-cultural organization. The students and mentors of today stand on their shoulders. Their names are included in the attached list as notable African American citizens and events. We call special recognition to the adult mentors, William Rowland, Reverend Nihilus Avery, Lloyd McCoy, and Leah Butler. And with that, we would turn to the task force for comments and feedback.
This is David King. I wholeheartedly support that. I think, we put a lot of effort and a lot of thought into that, trying to find an organization or individuals that would represent a cross section. And I think that is a good organization that represents that. Yes, it's on the phone now.
I'll just quickly agree with David. I think that it's very important that we recognize A-Score. I'm looking forward to recognizing the work of A-Score in September of this year as the 60th anniversary of library integration, which was due primarily to the work of members of A-Score. So I think that kind of very public, permanent recognition is overdue.
Yeah, I just want to thank you guys for including the Cherokee people in that dedication. That means a lot. I think I'm getting feedback from maybe Deborah's mic. Sorry. But I really, really deeply appreciate that. That's the primary reason. There were secondary third reasons, but of joining this task force was to see that those people who were very first disenfranchised on this land be honored. Also, I'm curious if we can add any present day Eastern Band Cherokee to be honored who are currently trying to attain equality for them because they're still not there yet. And I did submit a short list to Lonnie because he had asked me. So anyway, I just wanted to see if that would be something the task force would be willing to accept by the 12th as well. Thank you for including us.
Shirley Whitesides. I support the recommendations. I think it's important based on the list that we have compiled at this point. Some of the people other than A score, because some of the people listed taught the A score students. And then we need to think about the people after the A score. I think A score should be the focus, but don't forget the past and the present, because it all melds together to make a good cake. Okay.
Thank you, Shirley and Andrea. I just want to respond. I think one of the issues is that we were tasked with presenting names from the African American community, but not from the Cherokee community. I did get the names, and I think they're all really incredibly important people in the history of North Carolina and the history of the United States. And I would encourage you to send those directly to City Council folks for consideration. The task of redesigning what's going to come next, what we hope is going to come next, is not going to be up to us. These are just our recommendations, and there will likely be a new group of people that are going to be in a redesign position. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move on to the next item on the agenda, and that is the feedback on our final report. I hope that you have had an opportunity to review this report that has been emailed to you. I would also like to say many thanks to the staff for all of their hard work and help in assisting us in compiling this report. Are there any comments? Any additions? Any corrections?
This is Bernard. I'm not sure this is the spot for this, but it's maybe one. But once the monument is removed, or after the monument is removed, or if that's the disposition, what is the possibility of adding that entire area as a green area or a central park? Has that concept been introduced?
I do not think that is in our final report,
we are sorry. An application error has occurred. Goodbye.
Are we still together?
Hey, folks, we need to pause really quick. We lost the phone line for people to listen. Stand by.
Would somebody, I'm sort of hampered by machines, and if I open up too many things, I get lost. Can somebody look at the final report? I think somewhere in there we talk about placemaking, including closing down the street that's in between the monument and...
Excuse me, Ms. Miles,
yeah.
we need to be careful not to discuss anything that's business of the committee while we're off the public air right now, just to make sure we're open meetings law compliant. So if everybody could just rest for just a second, we can pick that right back up.
Okay, thank you.
Brad.
Thank you.
And stand by. I'm working with public input.
Are we back?
No, we are not back. Stand by.
Thanks, Ashley.
Testing audio. Nicole, can you hear me?
Yes. Oh.
That was for Nicole on our support team. Hold on. All right, guys, thank you for your patience. We are back connected.
I think we stopped at a question that Bernard had asked, and Deborah had asked for the report to be pulled. Did you get that, Deborah, where you could respond to Bernard's question?
You're
You're muted. Miss Mouse, you're muted.
Sorry.
I can't hear Deborah. I wonder if her microphone is on.
Thank you. Yes, thank you, everybody. And thank you, Elizabeth Harper, for finding the reference. It is mentioned in the final report in the appendix on the final slide on placemaking. And it refers to placemaking, but it doesn't use the word park, and it also doesn't include the word street closures. So I don't know if folks want to include those words, or if we want to just state that's what we mean in some other form.
This is Bernard again. And your last comment, Deborah, about stating the word about street closures, what is the specific name of the street running between Biltmore down toward the fire station? What is that name? So we can include that name as part of the street closures. That would also include the loop going around the monument, which would enable all to be a green area.
I would assume that that's College Street, starting at the monument. Well, I don't know that's not College Street. I don't know what that name is. Patton?
Bruce.
That's something.
Bruce. That runs between the monument and the and Court Plaza. So
Where?
that is South Spruce Street.
South Spruce.
I thought it was Pack Square.
No, that's not South Spruce.
There's North Pack Square and South Pack Square that goes around it.
Oh, okay. That's
That's
probably
better. Yeah.
And then it runs into Court Plaza. Pack Square turns is into Court Plaza. And then it runs into Spruce.
Thank you, Savannah.
You're welcome. Does it make sense?
Bernard, would you state again what you're suggesting that should be included in the final report in that section, please?
All right, this is Bernard again. My recommendation is that the street be closed that runs between Biltmore and the plaza, and that entire area be made a green area that would include the other recommendations of recognition.
Thank you so much for that suggestion. Any other feedback? Any other suggestions, ideas before we close the discussion on this agenda item?
I just want to say I also like the idea of the green space.
Can you repeat that?
This is Savannah Gibson. I just wanted to say also like the idea of the green space.
Thank you.
Meters right there too. I think that'd be nice.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All righty. We'll move on to the next agenda item. And that would be by Richard White.
Thank you, Ms. Simmons. Before I wrap this piece up, I do want to see, so there was a suggestion made to close the road and also to change it to a green space to make sure that the full task force is in favor of that. I guess we could ask the opposite of that. Is there anyone who's opposed to that before we include it in the recommendation in your report? Is there a general consensus that all of you agree with the inclusion of those two items?
Thumbs up.
Okay, I think everybody is. Looks like everyone is. Okay, very good. All right, thank you.
Sounds great.
And someone will see that happens in the report.
Yes, we'll make those changes. Staff will.
Thank you.
So I just want to confirm the next steps of where you are. So what I heard is that if there are any additional names or events to be added to the list, those will be due by February 12th, which is Friday. And then we'll make the corrections that you all discussed tonight to the report. And the report will be submitted to the City Council and the County Commissioners. I know with the co-chairs, we talked about the end of the month. Is that still your pleasure that we'll submit before the end of February?
Yes.
Okay. And then in terms of next steps for the City Council, it's my understanding that they will entertain a discussion on this topic sometime in March at one of their business meetings. And they'll make a decision around removal, relocation, repurposing of the monument. And they'll also talk about what the next steps might be in terms of redesign the space. So it's my understanding that will happen sometime in March is what I've heard as of today. So that's the plan as best I know it regarding City Council. And with that concludes my recap and next steps. I do want to say on behalf of staff that before we conclude what a pleasure it's been for staff to work with this task force throughout this effort. We've truly enjoyed working with you all and really admire the work you've done in getting to this point, making a decision to both City Council and the County Commissioners. So thank you for your hard work and effort. It's been our pleasure to assist you and support you in this effort.
I am not sure if this is the last time that we will all be meeting together, but I would also like to say it has been a pleasure working with each and every one of you. And hopefully we will have the opportunity to work together again. And thank you so much, Richard, to you and the staff. And it has been my pleasure co-chairing with my longtime friend, Deborah Miles. Thank you to everyone.
Thank you, Ms. Simmons. Yeah, I see Ms. Whiteside's down there. Let's give ourselves a round of applause and appreciation for each other and love and everything. And hopefully, we can, when this pandemic is over, we can meet somewhere downtown and face to face and show our appreciation for each other. So I am.
How about Pack Square? How about meeting at Pack Square?
Yes, perfect. Very poetic. So I'm about to conclude what probably is. We haven't been tasked with disbanding yet, but this could be. So I want to thank everybody, thank my wonderful co-chair who does such important work, was one of the original members of A-SCORE as well, and Richard and DK and the city and all the members. Brad for keeping us, me who's never done this kind of thing before, keeping me straight. And I'm going to make a final statement and then I'll call the roll. Mayor Esther Mannheimer says something to the effect of, I've come to see that the monument is about the past. It does not fit Asheville's future. I agree with Mayor Mannheimer. This edifice does not fit Asheville's future. And this is not just about making nice with the Black community. The removal of the monument is not done so Black people feel seen and safe, or not only done for that reason. This is also about white people too. It is about to the benefit of white people. If we were not convinced before, then the events of January 6th make it ever more clear. Every one of our futures and the futures of our children were threatened by that act of insurrection. And the cause of that act bleeds straight back to the root of the Vance Monument. The removal of all the monuments to the lost cause is of urgent necessity, and it must be done with all deliberate speed. I plead with the white community to not return to the comfort of our homes and think that putting a Black Lives Matter sign in our front yard is all that is required of us. It requires us to maintain active engagement. It requires us to look for ways to make reparations in our own organizations, our houses of worship, our neighborhoods, our personal lives, our workplaces. It requires us to support our leaders as they make bold moves toward equity and inclusion. And with that, I ask for a motion to adjourn.
This is Catherine. I'll move to adjourn.
Catherine Cutshaw moves to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Shirley Whiteside, second.
Thank you, Ms. Whitesides. And with that, I will call the roll. Call for approval of adjournment. Ms. Simmons?
Aye.
Catherine Calhoun Cutshaw?
Aye.
Dennis Bagnett? Lonnie Gilliam?
Lonnie's offline.
Savannah Gibson?
Aye.
Elizabeth Harper?
Aye.
Essie Hutchinson? Essie Hutchinson, I know we're having some internet problems. David King?
Aye.
Bernard Oliphant?
Aye.
Ben Scales?
Aye.
Shirley Whitesides?
Aye.
All right, folks. Everybody have a good evening.
Good night.
Wear masks.
Safe out there. COVID